Talha Rashidi, subsequent to the Supreme Court's oral observations, which was scathing against Nupur Sharma, there was a letter that was signed by 15 former High Court judges, 77 former civil servants, and 25 retired armed forces officers. They said, and I quote, "The observations of the Supreme Court are not in sync with judicial ethos. By no stretch, these observations, which are not part of the judicial order, can be sanctified on the plank of judicial propriety and fairness. Such outrageous transgressions are without parallel in the annals of judiciary." Isn't that a fair point, Talha Rashidi, that these oral observations, A, would have coloured the petition that was moved by Nupur Sharma, would have coloured the pending FIRs against her, would have deterred any judge, magistrate, listening to any of these 9 FIRs, would not be in a position to say things against, or at least publicly would not want to be seen as saying things against the Supreme Court. So, weren't these comments unwarranted and needlessly complicating what is an already complex matter? Talha Rashidi.
Zaka, I don't understand that. Yeah, Zaka, I simply don't understand that what is causing this outrage by all these judges and all those senior advocates, and there's Twitter trend going against the Supreme Court, a very I cannot describe the Twitter trend that was spreading across the Twitter. It was very shameful trend, and all these people are ganging, and they are, like they are putting their point of view against Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has exactly said what is practically happening in the country. India and India's name has gone through a very bad patch in the last 1 month due to the comments of these 2 fringe elements that were state sponsored, that are still state protected, and these people, these fringe elements, are still under the patronage of the state. I'm amazed and surprised at the same time that this lady still has the courage to move to the Supreme Court once again after withdrawing her appeal, her petition, and when the Supreme Court clearly quoted that you ignited the whole country and you still have the cheek and courage to approach the Supreme Court for relief, and she has still again moved to the Supreme Court to sort of relief and for the clubbing of the FIRs. This is highly shameful, and this shows that
no, but Talha Rashidi, the right to approach the Supreme Court. Sir, 1 second. The right to approach the Supreme Court is a fundamental right under Article 32, which is the right to legal redressal. The bench, without going into the merits of the matter, and nobody is at this point of time, arguing for or against the merits of the charges that have been brought forth against her. Those merits may be very well weighty, no doubt about it. But on legal principle, something that no less than the Supreme Court itself has upheld before, that for the same offence, if there are multiple FIRs, the petitioner can ask for clubbing of FIRs. That's an established principle in law. What is wrong in that? That is all she's asking for.
Yes, there's nothing wrong, but there's something called, ethics sense. You do something when your ethics, morality, allows it. There's something called ethics sense. She has failed it. Now, the thing is that this attempt is a mere pressure tactic to put a pressure on the Supreme Court, because a petition is pending in the Supreme Court regarding Zubair's FIRs that have been, filed throughout the country. And these FIRs, these FIRs are clearly, anyone who knows a little bit of legal course of action would understand that these FIRs have nothing to do with the legality. But this petition that has been filed today by her is only a pressure tactic, and the letter that you were talking was also a pressure tactic to put pressure on the Supreme Court.
I'm not sure if our judges are that malleable that they succumb to pressure of letters written by former bureaucrats or whoever. But anyway, I don't think there is a no. Once again, I don't think there is an apples to apples comparison either. Talha Rashidi, 1 second. I don't think there is an apples to apples comparison either between the cases against Nupur Sharma and the cases against Mohammed Zubair. I think they are both going to be decided on their respective merits. But I want to go back to Swapnil Kothari and ask him again a very, very simple question. The bench also said that the comments of a party spokesperson and a journalist cannot be treated identically. The bench said that the case of a journalist on expressing rights on a particular issue is of a different pedestal from that of a spokesperson who is lambasting others with irresponsible statements. Now, the question that's being asked is, where does one draw the line as far as freedom of speech and expression is concerned? Nupur's case is she said something reprehensible, absolutely unacceptable against the Prophet, but her case is that she said this in response to something that was said about her God. So where does the line on freedom of expression draw then?
Well, that is something which the courts will go eventually. The ones who try her case will go into the merits of the case and whether they look at it more as a reciprocal comment or whether some comment which should have been watered down a little bit, even if it was in response to the comment or an offensive comment made by somebody else. But be that as it may, Zaka, as far as this particular petition or the miscellaneous application is concerned, there is a solid chance that the Supreme Court may say that please do not consider the remarks that we made on 1st July to be a determinant factor as far as trying out her clubbing of the FIRs is concerned. It may give a direction to the High Court to approach to the High Court under Article 226 and also under other provisions of CRPC where she can go to get her FIRs clubbed, because sometimes it so happens that the Supreme Court says that Article 32 of the Constitution is our final remedy. It can be exercised as a first remedy depending upon the violation of the fundamental right and the rights that you are seeking in question for us to notice. And it may say that this is something where there is an alternative efficacious remedy available, which is through the High Court. Then why don't you go there? So that is also a solid chance, given the fact that it may still have that reservation of going into this. Because if you notice the Razaka, there was a comment made by them that the petitioner seems to be considering herself too high-handed to approach, that the magistrates of the first-class magistrates of the High Courts are not capable enough to deal with her petition. So why approach this? So that may still very well be the stand. It may say that please do not consider our remarks, whatever we made them, but do not consider them as far as determining these aspects is concerned. There is a strong chance that this could be the order tomorrow.
I'll give Aadil the final word. Two questions that are being asked. Obviously, there's the question of precedent. Law operates on the principle of precedent. And the precedence in this case was in 2001, the Supreme Court in the T.T. Anthony versus State of Kerala case made it clear that only the earliest information in regard to commission of an offence can be investigated and tried.
Correct.
Aadil.
Zaka, I have no doubt in my mind that the BJP, their trolls and their overground workers are running down institutions. I have no doubt in my mind. Point number one. Point number two, it is the Congress party's firm opinion that the observations of the Honorable Supreme Court on the 1st of July are an accurate description of the factual conspectus. It is not hidden from anybody that a cycle of hate has been unleashed, and rightly said by the Supreme Court. The problem is that these rabble-rousers and hate-mongers are assets of the BJP. I again reiterate, they are the jewels of the BJP because these foot soldiers carry forward their agenda of political polarization. What the Supreme Court does or doesn't do is not something which I can second guess. I think the courts will take a decision on it tomorrow. However, in the larger issue, I think the BJP has indeed unleashed a cycle of hatred, and we as a society must collectively in unison deprecate this because this is eating into our body politic. I think this is the larger issue.
I'm going to thank our guests who joined us on Debate 1. I'm going to request some of them to stay on for Debate 2 as well. But for the moment, let's shift focus.